So I got a real quick one for you today. I've already been messing with this for the past couple weeks off and on. I'm kind of mixed on it, but we got the E6 Plus. This is from GameMT. I reviewed their first one. It was just the E6 earlier this year, about 5 months ago. I was a little mixed on that thing as well. It was very cheap. This one's fairly cheap too. The previous version, it was like $50, came with like 10,000 games. It was kind of hit and miss on how things performed. You couldn't really manipulate things, do any kind of configurations on stuff. It was a very locked down setup as far as, the way it was put together. This, quite a bit different. So they sent this to me and my issue is kind of like, hey, they said, hey, we want to send this to you. It's like $75, has 10, 15,000 games on it type of thing. They sent it to me, doesn't have any games on it. What do you want me to do, right? So they said, my bad. And I looked at this note they sent me. There's like issues they mentioned about, because you can go back and forth between Linux and Android. Like there's setup that you could just have the front end with the games, then you can go to Android. It's like Android 11. It's all in Chinese when you go to Android though. You can change it, I guess, but there was nothing on there. So I didn't really mess with that. But it is already set up to like add games. So I did add some games, but they told me, yeah, we'll give you the download. It just wasn't ready yet. I was like, well, I can't really showcase what you're selling. I don't know what games you're including. Oh, we'll give you a download. They didn't give me a download, but they offered to sell me the SD card. I was like, I ain't buying the SD card from you. What the heck are you talking about? But whatever. I added a few games. We'll check it out real quick. But it's an RK3566 setup. Here's the specs real quick. But there you go. Dear friend, thank you. Whatever, it is what it is. It was a sample version, but like I said, if they're selling it a certain way, I can't really present it the way they're selling it because I don't know how they're selling it if they didn't send it to me the way they're selling it, right? But we'll have to see how capable this thing is. If you order one, you'll have to see what you get on there. I'm sure they're going to include a bunch of games, but okay, you get a screen protector, tempered glass screen protector. Little manual. You do get a charge cable. I think I lost it. It was in here. I charged this thing up. 2 micro SD cards. They did include the one that's supposed to have games on it, but they just didn't put games on it. It's kind of weird. But let's boot this thing up real quick. Test a few games. I did, add games to most of the systems that were on the SD card just to check it out. So with this chipset, it's getting kind of long in the tooth for this chipset. That's why they're kind of cheaper now. Look at the lights, a little light show here, right? It's pretty much the same setup as far as the buttons and everything, as far as the first one went. But here we go. Nice looking screen. I give them that. Looks nice. I don't know why, but I notice when I'm in Android, like the lights stay on. But when I'm in this, on the Linux side, the front end, like the lights on the sticks, like, how it just flickers, like it's on and then it turns off the second I start touching things. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with that. Kind of weird. But okay, let's jump into a couple things. I added a bunch of arcade stuff, just real quick. Like we know this stuff's gonna work, but let's try a couple things real quick. And for some reason in that note, like they showed me like that white line, it's just always there when you power the system on or when you enter into some games, and it goes away though. Like, I don't know if you saw that on the right side of the screen. It's just like some kind of weird glitch. They noted that, like, where is it? There'll be a white line on the right side of the screen. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's kind of weird. Speakers sound pretty loud. Where are they coming out of? Oh, back here. Okay. But yeah, this screen looks really good. This weird disc D-pad's kind of stiff feeling. It reacts okay, but it just, I don't know. I've been using it, messing around with a few things, and I just don't. I like a more traditional D-pad. This does not feel like, like a Sega pad at all. It's just very stiff, a little awkward. But yeah, your 2D arcade game's gonna be fine. Even with the speakers being on the back, like it projects decently well. Yeah, it's like when you hit the analog sticks, the lights come on. I don't know if that's a glitch with the system. Kind of weird. But yeah, all your 2D systems are going to play just fine. And the screen, like I said, looks really good. I just exited that PC Engine game and now it's like the system froze or something. I don't know what's up with that. That's kind of strange. Been sitting here for like a minute now. What the hell, dude? That shouldn't have happened. I really don't know what's going on. I mean, it kind of sucks that we're froze here. I do like the shoulder buttons. I like how they're angled like that. And they feel okay. I mean, I'm telling you some positives, but now like the system's froze. The frick, dude? Let's see if I can power cycle this. God, so this is typical with Nintendo 64. I notice on these kind of setups. Like I said, I added the ROMs, but the build was already set up. You know, the emulation front end, like the emulators, everything was already on here, right? So I didn't do anything else. But it's like, you know, Nintendo 64 is going to be hit and miss. It's still kind of like wonky, but it like struggles to get into the game. Kind of smooths out a little bit, but it's still very choppy. Audio's nasty. Not a fun experience. It's kind of funny because Nintendo 64 is always like hit and miss with these kind of devices, but DS always plays like fine on these systems. Like you really shouldn't have too much of an issue playing Nintendo DS. I mean, I'm having an issue because I'm just sucking, but that's beside the point. A little cannon spike action. It's funny as well. Like Dreamcast winds up performing better than Nintendo 64 as well. That's just the way it is, I guess. But it might be a little hit and miss as well. Like you may find a few games that don't run as well as you would hope. But you should be able to find quite a few that run decently well. Oh, here we go. So a little PSP action, some Ape Escape. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I actually have never played this game before. But we'll wrap it up with this. So my final thoughts with this system, you know, yeah, they didn't send me a build with actual games on it. So I don't know what it is you'll actually get if you order this from these guys, unfortunately. I can't speak to that, but it's easy enough to add your own games to how you want it to be set up. So there's that. But as far as performance goes, you'll be able to play some Nintendo 64, but that's going to be very hit and miss. You should be able to play a respectable amount of Dreamcast on here, a respectable amount of PSP, but you will find some games that don't perform to your expectations with those systems. PlayStation 1, Nintendo DS, you really shouldn't have any issues, just like all your, 8 and 16-bit systems as well. The speakers sound fine. Them being in the back, they still project very well. The screen looks really good. At the price point, it's not bad, but there's so many options out there. It's really up to you. Do you think it's worth it for what you're getting here? I think it's decent, but not my favorite at all. I mean, I don't like the D-pad. It really kind of sucks, to be honest with you. This light thing that's going on here is kind of weird. I don't know, dude, but yeah, that's where it's at. Appreciate you guys. Bye.